Hello, and today we're going to talk about colic, preventing and relieving equine colic. So this is a video on what colic looks like, what causes colic, and what you can do about it. So this is Lori from HappyNaturalHorse.com, and here we are to talk to you about colic symptoms and their cause, and mainly how to prevent it and the remedy for it. Okay? So, most colics are classified in one of three types. Intestinal dysfunction, the horse's digestive tract is not working properly. Impaction, paralysis, excessive gas are examples. These types are common. Intestinal accidents, these are where the intestines are injured or torn. This is less common than the type mentioned above, but it usually requires an emergency surgery, which can be very expensive and a long time healing. So you might want to consider euthanizing. I know it's hard to do, but sometimes it's better for the horse. Ulcerations, this is a colic caused by infections, inflammations, disease of the intestines, sometimes tumors. Parasites and stress are the #1 reason for the ulcerations. Digestive from the commercial feeds, stress, not having food in front of the horse every 2 hours. An inactive gut is not digesting the horse's food, which causes colic. That also happens too. So that's another reason why we feed the Big Sky minerals, because it has an enzyme and it breaks down the food that goes into the horse's digestive tract. So also in the wintertime, when the weather gets cold, let's say from 70 degrees or 60 degrees and it goes down to 30 that night, their metabolism, the horse's metabolism, liver slows down in order to conserve energy, to keep them warm over the winter months. This causes the gut to slow, and for the gut to go into hibernation, the horse has to lose its fluid balance. That's why water at all times is important in the wintertime. And so when we have extreme temperature changes, this prompts the horse's body to change, and you get a gas colic. The gastric acid can also build up from stress of traveling, lack of forage, and low pH in the gut. Chemical warmers will cause a low pH in the gut, and so will stress and vaccines. That's why we use the no-sows vaccines. So the first sign of colic that you see in a horse is uneasiness, personal change. They'll start to kick their bellies, roll excessively, sweating, pawing. They'll bite their bellies. I had a horse I took up to the track and I forgot to give him his high track, and what happened was, as soon as I got there, he started kicking his belly, and I knew he was into his gut was stressed, so I immediately gave him some Dynapro and a high track, and he got out of it and he was able to gallop that day, so it was cool. What to do? First off, you want to prevent colic. And the best way to prevent colic is to feed your horse as close to nature as you possibly can. And I know those in the boarding stable have a really hard time, but it's your horse and you're the one that owns it, and if you can offer to feed them Stanley hay pellets with the Big Sky minerals, that would be great. If you don't want to use the Big Sky minerals or the Stanley hay pellets, I suggest you feed a base of oats and steam flake barley. That is just it, and black wool sunflower seeds if you want to feed a grain. Otherwise, there's plenty of forages out there. You have the Timothy hay pellets, grass hay, regular grass, hay at all times, no corn oil because the horse doesn't have a gallbladder. If you are trailering your horse anywhere to a show, you want to give them the high track before and after you get them off the trailer. If you don't want to give them the high track, then you can give them apple cider vinegar straight. That helps too. Maybe about 5 cc's to 10 cc's just to balance the gut. Keeping your horse having hay in front of it at all times, not having a gap of, like, every 2 hours the horse can be empty in the gut. But usually they like to have something in their gut in order to prevent the acid from building up. A lot of horses from the track will have acid buildup because they go sometimes for a long period of times with no hay or no grain, usually about 6 hours sometimes. So that's why a lot of horses from the track have ulcers. And you can easily prevent ulcers by having a forage in front of your horse at all times. So let's get to the remedies. The first step is, of course, when you see your horse in stress, do call your vet. Immediately call your vet. But in the meantime, you know, vets take a while to get there, especially if you live in a rural area. There are a couple things you can do while you're waiting for the vet, and it's not going to hurt the horse at all. In fact, it's going to help save your horse's life. The first thing you want to do is you want to give them 10 to 20 cc's of Hydrac every 10 minutes until you see some fecal matter pass. If you don't have the Hydrac and you use the Dynapro from Dynamite, that works too. Dynamite Online. That is a wonderful, wonderful company, and they have a great probiotic. Now, the difference between our probiotics and the other probiotics out there is ours is not live until it hits the gut. Once it hits the gut, it activates the live bacteria and helps balance the pH in the gut. So let's say your horse passes some fecal matter, so you do a couple more squirts. Then you put some tea tree oil on the belly button and give your horse some Nox Vomica, homeopathic pills every hour on the hour, 3 of them, until you see some relief. Holding your horse's tail and letting your horse stretch out also opens up the energy center and helps relieve some gas. You can also rub the end of the tail part on both sides of the buttocks. Get the horse to relieve, lift up his tail, and that also helps too. You could rub the tips of the ears. That's the acupressure point for the intestines. And if you do not have any of the above, the Hydrac, the Dynapro, in a pinch, you can give 20 cc's of straight apple cider vinegar. I don't care where you get it from, but organic is best, with 1 to 2 tablespoons of cayenne pepper. Immediately syringe that into your horse's mouth. Do that every 15 minutes until the vet arrives. The horse should be completely out of the colic by then. If you have any questions about colic, feel free to leave a comment on the bottom of this video. And I'd love to hear from you. Please subscribe. Helping you help your horse through natural equine remedies. Again, if your horse is in stress, of course call the vet. And but this is tips just for you to help your horse during the time of stress. Okay? So, any questions? Let me know. Thank you at happynaturalhorse.com.